What is up, guys? DG Whip here, back again with another video. Today we're going to be working on the head gasket of the Porsche 944. So for those of you guys that don't know or haven't seen my other videos, I explained in the video earlier that I was driving the car, I got it running, I gave it a good test drive, make sure everything was good, that was good to drive around, right? Well, car started overheating, and I was like, well, that's not good. Pulled into the garage, and oil and coolant started spilling everywhere. It left a big fat trail out in front of my neighborhood and my house. It was very embarrassing, it was frustrating, and oil or coolant was in the oil, which that's obviously not supposed to be in the oil. So that's a telltale sign that we have a blown head gasket, and it's pretty bad for how bad it was mixing and overheating. So I think this is why this car was sitting so long, and that's why we got a good deal on it, because the car needed a lot of work. Now this is a lot of labor. I have to remove basically everything you see right here, take the head off, go send it to the machine shop for them to resurface the head so it's not warped, and so the head gasket seals properly. And then you got to put everything back together, put the timing belt back on, put everything back on timing and everything. I'm not looking forward to it. This is definitely going to be the most complex job I've ever done, but this is a good experience for when I do the engine swap in the VR30 and my G35. So I'm kind of looking forward to getting the experience. This is going to be a cool learning experience. Pardon me, I have really bad lighting in here. I mean, it's fine, like in person, my eyes can like see, but you guys, it's not like as bright. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and take the fuel rail off. We're gonna take everything apart, and I can't get all this in video. This is like probably gonna take me 2 days straight of labor, and I don't have that much footage and battery and all that. It's gonna be a pain, so I'm just gonna get some highlights. I'm gonna take the fuel rail off first. I'm probably gonna spill some fuel around, but it's all good. We'll clean it up, and yeah, wish me luck. This blown head gasket was, look at that. That's milk, bro. That's straight up chalky milk. We got chalky milk cooling our engine, ladies and gentlemen. So this was really bad. This was like, dude, I'm surprised this car runs, dude. That is just awful. Figured out why our AC doesn't work. There's no belts. There is no belts on the AC compressor. That's kind of important. So I don't know if the AC compressor is just shot or what. If so, that kind of sucks, because that's another thing I have to replace. It doesn't look too hard to get to though, or to remove, so that'll probably take like an hour and a half if I do have to end up doing it. I'll just get a belt, throw it on once everything's good. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we got some pretty good progress. We got the intake manifold off. Take a look at this alternator. This is an old school alternator, man. Like, this looks like a freaking like airplane part, dude. I've never seen an alternator look like this, and with the fans on it and everything. Oh yeah, so the AC alternator belt is missing, so alternator wasn't charging the battery, and that makes sense why I couldn't jump start the car and the battery died, which is brand new. And I was like, there's no way this battery's bad. And I didn't understand why I couldn't jump start it, but look at all the oil and stuff right there. I think our head is blown, guys. Like, it is bad. Well, that's pretty obvious, because look at what got drained out of the cooling system. Chalky milk. But so I did end up breaking a vacuum line, unfortunately, which is not a big deal. This is a really cheap line. I could probably get that at any auto parts store. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take the timing belt, balance shaft belt off. This car uses a lot of belts. Like, it uses 4 total belts, which is just crazy to me. But once we take that off, we just need to clear some stuff out of the way, and we're good to take the valve cover and head off, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, so 2 days of hard work later, head gasket's off, cylinder head is off. I got it by the car. I'm about to go to the machine shop right now. They said they're gonna do it for $25, which is, I was ready to pay $100, so I'm not gonna complain about that. I'm gonna do that right now. Here's the old head gasket, and honestly, it doesn't look too bad. And this almost looks relatively new and aftermarket. I don't think this is an OEM head gasket. So what I'm thinking would happen was he did not resurface the head, and the head is warped, or he didn't install it properly, and it just ended up cracking again pretty bad. So we're gonna have to definitely do this properly. We're gonna take it to the machine shop. We're gonna clean all the surfaces off here, clean all this up. There's just a mess everywhere. It's gonna be hours of just cleaning. Okay, so just dropped it off at the machine shop, and they said, well, the reason why it blew is because they tried to resurface it themselves and they did a really bad job. There was a bunch of grooves and everything into the head. He said double check your block as well, make sure it doesn't have the same thing, and smooth that out. I obviously do not want to pull the whole block out of the car, but I mean, the car is half apart, so he's going to go ahead and take care of me. He's going to do the valves and the block for 45 bucks, which is awesome. I had no idea how much it cost. I was ready to spend like 100 bucks on resurfacing everything, but he said if I wanted to do like the whole entire thing, be 140. I didn't want to do the whole thing. I just want the head gasket to seal properly, and I want the car in good shape and running. And I gotta keep this cost effective. I am trying to flip it and make some money off of it. If it was my personal car I was gonna drive for a while, I probably would do everything, but I'm just trying to get this car back on the road and running. So yeah, I will catch you guys when we pick the head up back from the machine shop, and we'll see how that goes.
Okay, so different day. I got the head back from the machine shop yesterday, and look at how shiny that is. I just want you guys to know it did not look like that when I sent it to the shop. It looked more like this wall. You see how this wall has texture and bumpiness? That's what it looked like. And that had to have been the cause of why the head blew. There was just no chance of the head gasket sealing. So I cleaned up the head as best as I can. It doesn't look like this, but however, it is smooth to the touch and there's no dirt or anything on it. So we're gonna go ahead, put the head gasket on, put the head on, make sure everything is clean, good to go, and then we're gonna tighten everything down, and then let's start putting everything back together. So I'm halfway done through torque and everything. Now they recommend that you wait in between torque sessions because you need the studs to stretch and get settled or whatever. I want to do everything correct as I can, so I'm just making sure everything is fully torqued down. We're gonna wait 15 minutes and then we're gonna do the final torquing. Now they want me to torque at like 90 degrees. I don't have a way to torque at angles, so I'm just gonna do 70 foot-pounds. I read online people run 70, 75-ish foot-pounds on the final torque, which sounds about right, so that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, let's put this car back together.
Okay, everything is pretty much put back together. We're like 98% of the way there, or we're like 95%. I have to get a hose clamp from AutoZone. I'm gonna put that on right now for there because that broke. Everything's bolted in and secured. Everything is hooked up. We're gonna drain the oil, refill with fresh oil because the oil has coolant in it. It's no good anymore. We're gonna fill the radiator with radiator flush and water to flush the system out, drain it, put coolant in.
Oh boy, look at all that milk. Dude, you know what sucks? It looks like more of the oil went into the coolant than coolant went into the oil. So it was probably running pretty low on oil, actually. It's really thick and milky, so it's probably going to take a while to drain, so I might have to leave this alone for a little bit.
Okay guys, finally after a week later, I'm tired, I'm sore, my hands hurt, but everything is put back together as you can see. Everything is connected, everything is tightened. I drained all the coolant, I drained all the oil, put everything back up. Off camera, I actually replaced this Brake Master slave cylinder, bled all the brakes all around, filled it up with brake fluid. Everything is good to go. I had to go get a replacement hose clamp and make sure everything is good. I double check everything is tight and good to go. I filled the radiator up with radiator flush and water so we can flush the cooling system out, and then we're going to replace it. So let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and hook the battery back together and let's try to start this baby. All right guys, I want to be honest, I'm pretty nervous, but this is the point of no return. Let's go ahead and try to start the car, make sure it's in neutral, and let's see what happens. So literally, I just remembered I was missing a bolt and I couldn't find it, and I was gonna worry about it later. Right there, I don't know if you can see. And the intake manifold, I realized there's one on the, I believe this is a grommet for wiring harness, I'm not sure. That's supposed to go right there. So I'm gonna remove that bolt, put that bolt there, and tighten everything back up.
If I can get the key in.
All right, full send. Now, it's not gonna start for a second. It has to build up fuel pressure because there's no fuel in the fuel rail, but let's see what happens. after doing some research, I realized I was an idiot. I had the wires hooked up wrong. I had cylinders 1 and 4 correct, but I had 2 and 3 switched. It is 1, 2, 3, 4. And yeah, that would make sense why it was kind of trying to start, but not really. I really hope that this works and the car starts up right away. And that's all that I messed up. So let's go ahead and try to start it again. Okay, YouTube, so I got really bad news today, and I'm a little, I don't know how to put it. I'm very disappointed and upset because I spent a lot of time, dedication, money, etc. into the Porsche, and I really could not figure out what was going on with it, so I ended up taking the L and towing it to a shop. Ended up taking the L and towed it to a shop. Got to do a 5-hour diagnostic, so it was like $600 some alone just to figure out what was going on. They got it started, however the car was still mixing oil and coolant, and I have to believe there's a crack in the block. They said that's probably what it is, and it's not worth rebuilding the engine. You're gonna have to replace the engine. This is gonna be between $4 and $6 grand all said and done, and I obviously can't do that. That's just not gonna be worth it, and I really don't even have the money to do that anyway. So I guess the Porsche build is kind of done, and I'm gonna have to just get rid of the car, and it really sucks. This is the second time in a row I'm gonna have to do this, and it's really hurting my pocket, and it's really discouraging me just because this is a hard time in 2020 to like get ahead and make money and stuff, and then stuff like that happens. It's really disappointing, especially when the previous owner was just obviously not very honest with me what was going on with the car. So yeah, it really sucks, but I'm gonna keep my head forward. It's just another day. Life goes on. There's always more cars. I can just sell it, use that money, get another car, get back on the road again. So sucks I don't get to drive it, but you know, thank you guys for sticking with me and following the build and following my other videos and all that. Again, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.